What is up, everyone? Tyler DeLuca back here with yet another WNBA team preview in the build-up to the highly anticipated 2025 WNBA season. Today, we're talking about a team that I found very intriguing because, frankly, I don't know exactly where I stand on them. They have one of the highest kind of ceiling to floor differences across all of my team previews, which you can find here on the YouTube channel. Today, we're talking about the Seattle Storm. And look, it's a very, very, very different looking Storm team, if for nothing else than the fact that Jewell Loyd is no longer on this team. There was a lot going on last season, apparently. We didn't always know it. It felt like you could kind of tell at times. Like, sometimes it just didn't look like things were going smooth. Like, not like it was like any type of drama on court, as much just like the fluidity of the team. And frankly, a lot of that was kind of just pushed to the side as first year new super team put together. Normally there's kind of like that 1 year that it takes things to gel. We just saw with the New York Liberty, for example, where it kind of takes that first year, and then year two, it kind of gets better. Turns out I think there was a little bit more going on than just super team gelling. And now Jewell Loyd is no longer a Seattle Storm, which is weird, but ultimately they still got a lot of talent on this team. So let's dive into the ceiling and the floor and the three things that I am looking to for this Seattle Storm team and how they can be successful this season. So the ceiling is champions. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship. That's not what I'm saying. They're not my pick. I wouldn't put money on them. However, if we're going to get into each individual thing here, but if these three things, and if the star power of Skylar, Diggins, Nneka Ogwumike, and Ezi Magbegor still maintains at the same level, and frankly, I think has a chance to elevate higher without Jewell Loyd, just naturally, just like there's just more ball to go around to those three-star players. If you're able to have that at a high level, you can go on a run here. Like there is a recipe for a run here. Do I think it's likely all the way to the champions? I'm not saying that, but I think that there is a recipe here, and we'll get into each individual part. But I also think that the floor is the first round, because if you find yourself back in that 4-5 matchup, it could get wicked. And even if you're the 3 seed and the 6 seed, there's a potential to get wicked because the rest of the WNBA got better as well. Just generally speaking, I think the teams are better built. A lot of teams went into win now mode, whether they should have or shouldn't, that's a different conversation. But a lot of teams invested into this year. And so I just generally think that the teams across the WNBA got better compared to the bottom half of the playoffs last season. Now, let's look into these kind of three topics that I'm highlighting here. First off, who you got from that Jewell Loyd trade was the number 2 pick, and that is Dominique Malonga. Obviously, the projection of Dominique Malonga long-term is incredibly exciting, but what I'm interested in the now, and what Storm fans should be interested in the now, is what can you do in year one for this Seattle Storm team? Because if Dominique Malonga can come in and start immediately producing, and I'm not saying she's got to put up superstar numbers or anything like that, but if she's able to come in and immediately produce, things get interesting. Things get very, very interesting about what this Storm team can be. The idea of Dominique Malonga and Ezi Magbegor on the court at the same time together, and that's not even getting into Nneka Ogwumike, but even just those two alone is so incredibly exciting, and I can't wait to see that. If you've been around No Cap Space, we've been telling you about Dominique Malonga for a long time. We have a whole cover story where we interviewed her coaches on NoCapSpaceWBB.com. Link in the description below. Shameless plug. But Dominique Malonga, if she can come in and, again, not say superstar numbers, but just be a genuine positive impact on day one, can absolutely provide a major impact on this Seattle Storm team. And it kind of feeds into that second question of what is the bench production for this Sparks team. I think, frankly, it's necessary for Dominique Malonga to be an immediate impact on this team, because whether it be due to injuries or whatever, the Seattle Storm bench, I'm not incredibly moved by. I don't know where a lot of your production is coming from. Lexi Brown, you get in a trade along with Lee Rue, who was phenomenal in that preseason game. You have Alicia Clark, you have Zaya Cook, Katie Lou Samuelson's out with a torn ACL. There's not a ton of, to me, consistent production from that bench. If you can reach consistent production with that bench, whether that be through Dominique Malonga coming off the bench or if she's starting, we'll kind of see how, again, we'll see how everything plays out with that. I would imagine that she's probably off the bench. Probably. We'll see. But just generally speaking, that is a major point here. Because when you look at like the best teams, like Vegas always was winning championships and winning a lot of games in spite of their bench. It was not because of their bench. That was their main hangup, was their depth. New York, we just saw how important it was to have a breakout player in the playoffs in Yara Sabali, right? And again, just in general, their depth was so incredibly important. Leone Phoebe, I mean, like the list goes on with New York. They just have such incredible depth. And that was a major part of them winning a championship. So if you're going to dethrone the champs, I feel like you got to have some depth there. And that's what I worry that the Seattle Storm really lack this season. Because I think at the top, you have some incredible talent, you have some incredible production. What do you have in the middle and the bottom of your roster? That is what worries me. And I think a big part of trying to kind of counteract that is this last point of unlocking Olympic Gabby. I'm not talking about the defensive end. That is here to stay and isn't going anywhere. We saw some incredible shot making from Gabby Williams in that Olympic run with the French national team. Especially, I mean, we saw like that final where she almost beats Team USA along with the rest of her France team. And if you're able to get that offensive production over here, that shot making over here into the States, into the WNBA, and inject it into the Seattle Storm roster, that is major. Again, like there's going to be a lot of buckets to potentially go around, a lot of shots to go around with Jewel Lloyd leaving. Again, that's not a negative on Jewel Lloyd's message. It just is a natural thing when a superstar leaves. Where do you feel that? Is it Dominique Malonga? Is it Gabby Williams? Is it more just generally spaced out? Where are those shots going? And if you're able to unlock Gabby Williams, and again, I'm not saying she doesn't have to go be a 20-point scorer, but if you're able to get her into a decent, mid to high teens average, we're talking about this team in a completely different way. And so if you're able to get your French duo of Dominique Malonga and Gabby Williams producing at a decent level, not even a superstar level, a decent level, because you have your superstars. Skylar Diggins and Nneka Ogwumike were really, really good last year. We're really good. And how do you kind of fill in the gaps around them? And again, I worry about the bench production, but if your two French players and Dominique Malonga and Gabby Williams can pick it up, there is a recipe for a run. I'm not expecting it. I'm not predicting it. There is a recipe for a run. But I'm interested in what you guys think. Let me know. Where do you guys feel that the Seattle Storm stand in the current landscape of the WNBA? Do you think that they're contenders? What is the most important piece to them becoming contenders if they are not? Let me know down below, and make sure you're tapped in across the board with No Cap Space. Like, subscribe, share here on the YouTube. No Cap Space, WBB.com is the home of all of our print and podcast content, So make sure you subscribe there as well. All the links down below in the description, and I'll see you next time.